Hey everyone, Dr. Rodgers here. I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful day whenever it is that you watch this. I want to talk to you all about a really important topic today that's really near and dear, not just to my heart, but to me both professionally and personally, and that is intuition and medical intuition. You know, as someone who has been trained at length and spends all of her time in ongoing training and mentorship with respect to intuitive and medical intuitive work, it's really important to me that you all know first and foremost that 85% or more of people out there who claim to be some sort of intuitive, medical intuitive, psychic, medium, anybody in that realm, unfortunately 85% or more of these people are frauds and are not genuine. So something I want to do today is talk to you about what is intuition, medical intuition, how do I practice these things, how are they incorporated into my work, and how can you spot someone who's genuine or not. So I want to arm you with some questions that you could ask of any practitioner, and if they are legit, genuine, someone you can trust, someone who really is a talented, intuitive guide, worker, healer, whatever they claim to be, they should be able to easily respond to you and answer these questions with confidence. So let's get started. So what is intuition? Well, intuition is a way of thinking without analytical reasoning. So it's really bridging the gap between the conscious and the non-conscious mind. So people that say they are intuitive people, intuitive guides, intuitive coaches, or whatever they may be, are using their intuition to know and or sense or feel what's right, and to use that information then accordingly to help others in some capacity. Now, I am specifically a medical intuitive. I'm an advanced, or what's considered a master medical intuitive. I've trained with a woman who I consider to be the very best of the best, and her name is Tina Zion. So you're welcome to look her up. If intuitive work is something you are interested in, then I'd strongly recommend that you consider working with her. But I want you to know where I've trained, who I've trained with. I've trained with Tina not just once, but twice. I've done both her beginners and her advanced or master's medical intuitive training. I've repeated that several times. And I also work with her at least once a month, one-on-one, as she is my mentor, and I work with her to continue to improve, strengthen, refine my skills so that all I can do is become better and better and better. Now, what is a medical intuitive? A medical intuitive is someone who feels, senses in and around not just your energy field, but also your body, to find areas that might be out of balance and to determine what the source of that imbalance is. Now, and I can tell you that as medical intuitives, we all work quite differently because just like you, we're all individual, unique people, and so the way that we receive gifts and information is quite different. So each of us as medical intuitives, we connect with what we call source energy. And each of us connects with a different type of source energy because it's our own divine source guidance and energy. And so the way that we are all guided individually, you may see a wide range of variance out there in the field. So for me personally, the way I receive information as a medical intuitive practitioner is a few ways actually. Sometimes I actually in my mind's eye see and am shown things inside and around the body, so that I can very easily and visually see areas where there are imbalances, maybe sickness, pain, illness, or other issues. I also do receive positive information, so I often see different chakras and I see how they're either balanced or not balanced, and I'm able to give guidance around that. I also receive things through feeling. So sometimes I am actually given very specific symptoms that my clients are feeling, and I feel them as if I am them themselves. So I experience those sensations, aches, pains, discomforts in and around the body, and so then I very deeply understand what exactly is going on. Now, I'm also given information sometimes by scent and taste. So for example, I have been able to smell cigarette smoke if I know it will be an indication to me that someone is a smoker, and therefore I know that there may be some issues to look at around the lungs, and I will be guided to do such. Sometimes I receive information by taste. So for example, I sometimes taste the taste of heavy metals in my mouth. this will be an indication to me that I am in an area that is overburdened with toxic heavy metals. Now, sometimes I have what's called clairsentience. So it's an inner knowing, and I am just given information, thoughts in my mind, very specific messages, words, phrases, conversations, and guided and just shown and told certain types of information about what's going on with a person. Sometimes I am shown things in and around the energetic field, and so I can pick up on certain blockages there. But ultimately, what I do as a medical intuitive is merge those skills with my skills as a very traditional doctor, epidemiologist, scientific researcher, chronic illness and disease expert. So I pull all the pieces of my clients' health puzzles together to identify the root causes, both physical and non-physical, of all the stuff they've got going on. And then I connect the dots to determine what's really going on underneath the surface. And I use that information to create very comprehensive plans and customized healing regimes that are very tailored and individualized to each and every client that I work with. And so this is how I and I merge those skills as a traditional doctor and epidemiologist with my skills and guidance as a medical intuitive. So when you come to work with me, you truly are working with a blend of those two things. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so that is getting merged in and meshed in. So I really blend and bridge the gap between both the physical and non-physical world, the traditional and holistic health realm, and the physical with the energetic and the spiritual. So I want you to just have a deep understanding as to how I integrate medical intuition into my practice. Now, I do actually do individual medical intuitive readings for each of my clients. So once they come to work with me, we do their consultation, they really dump everything onto my plate, and I put the pieces of their health puzzle together and identify all of their root causes. Once I've done that and we've decided what way will be best for the two of us to work together, then in between that time and our second session, which would be when they really dive in with me in a program and we start to work toward a full-blown healing transformation. During that time, I do conduct a medical intuitive reading for each of my clients, more as a gift than anything else because I just love to do it. So I'd like to show you what that might look like. So I do medical intuitive readings in two ways. Sometimes I read for a person live, so you may just be sitting with me. I will connect with my source energy and I will identify things as we talk in real time. Typically what will happen is we will identify something where there is some sort of struggle or imbalance. I will ask for guidance and I will also use that guidance combined with my professional knowledge and being an expert at identifying root causes of illness. I will combine that guidance to identify what is the source of this imbalance. And usually we stop there once we identify the source and we do some sort of healing around it to help you relieve the source. And that is what brings me to explain to you that, when we talk about root causes of illness, we often think that it's just something physical or at the biological level, right? So perhaps pathogens and toxins. However, there are actually 6 different root cause categories of illness or imbalance in the body, and only one of those categories is actually physical in nature. So there very much may be other energetic or spiritual even issues that are going on that are actually standing in the way. There also may be emotional issues going on. Believe it or not, relationships can be something that can be behind a health issue. So it's up to me as your holistic health practitioner and medical intuitive to determine what are those sources. And there often are multiple sources. Once we identify those, then we can determine what exactly we need to do to target those root causes. And so I like to think of it this way. And the person who has trained me, Tina Zion, has taught me that, and what I believe to be true is that we are much more than a physical body and a thinking mind, right? We are electrically charged vibrational beings made up of energy and energy fields and energy grids. So it's up to me to determine what's going on in the midst of all of that. You as a physical, emotional human being, you as an electrically charged human being, you as a vibrational, spiritual, energetic human being all across all levels and layers there, and across all of those dimensions. Where are all the sources of what has led you to some point where you're now experiencing physical pain, physical, emotional, or mental pain, discomfort, issues that are clearly standing in the way of you living as the truest essence of yourself, of you living the most radiant, vibrant life, of you just sustaining everlasting health and well-being. My goal is to help restore you to everlasting health and well-being. And so it can't just be done by identifying just the physical root causes like toxins and pathogens. I could easily give to any of my clients just what to eat and what not to eat, what supplements to take and not take, and give them a very prescriptive, guided pathway to heal themselves naturally that way. However, what I know to be true is that that would just be doing them in a complete disservice, because there absolutely are energetic, spiritual, emotional, stress-related, and all kinds of other issues on other levels, layers, and planes and dimensions that we really need to talk about, identify, and address. Now, the other way that I can read for people, and I often do this with clients because I'll do it while we're not necessarily live in a session, is I will do a session with somebody's picture. When that happens, what I do is I actually collect information onto something that looks like this, and I'm going to cover somebody's name up because this is an actual reading that I've done. But what I will do is I will receive information. As you can see, I will brain dump onto the body, and I will receive a lot of guidance as to what is going on. And as you can see, there's a lot going on here. So and that's really nice because in that session, I can really allow it to be more of a medical, intuitive free-for-all, and I will just allow to come through anything and everything that I can possibly receive about what is going on in and around the body, and then the client and I will talk through that together. I also receive information during this time about what exact types of healings and healing modalities will be beneficial for a person, including that could be anywhere from nutrition and supplements to energetic healings and spiritual healings that are needed to alternative and non-traditional healings that are needed. So it could be anywhere across the board. I'll also be given guidance about what types of herbs and herbal remedies may be helpful for a person. So I really get a really wide range of information, and it will be very different for each and every reading that I do. So that's something that I do in conjunction with my work. And it really is, like I said, a truly intuitive, integrative approach that I take with my clients. So I'm never just using my epidemiological, doctoral, research scientist skills. I'm never just using my medical intuitive skills. The only exception would be when I connect with you, whether it's in person like this, or whether it's while you're at home and I'm connecting with you in this way remotely while we're not talking. Other than that, that would be the only time that I am strictly being a medical intuitive for you. The rest of the time, I am giving you a complete merge of both of those sets of skills and bringing in all of the other skill sets I have as a Reiki practitioner, as a hands-on spiritual healer, as somebody with a psychology degree, a chemistry degree, a public health degree, and I'm allowing all of those sets of expertise. My expertise as a chronic health expert, a healthy aging and longevity expert, someone who's expertly trained in identifying the root causes of illness. So all of those skills are really getting merged into one when you come and work with me. So I want to share that with you. And now I want to just talk with you a little bit more about how to identify a legitimate, genuine, trustworthy, intuitive coach, practitioner, whether they're a medical intuitive or otherwise. So I want to give you some questions that you should ask people. Number one, if you see that somebody says that they're an intuitive guide, an intuitive coach of some sort, an intuitive worker, or they are somebody like me that says, I have this integrative intuitive approach, a great first question to ask them would be, what does that mean? How are you an intuitive coach or guide? And how do you use those skills? Just like I was clearly able to explain to all of you exactly how I use my skills to serve others. A trustworthy practitioner will easily be able to do the same as I just did for you. Another question I would ask them is, how long have you been an intuitive practitioner, guide, coach, whatever it is they claim to be? I've been a medical intuitive now for almost 5 years. And like I said, I don't believe in training as a one and done approach. I am a lifelong learner. So I would also really strongly recommend that you ask these people, whoever they are, practitioner, someone you're thinking about working with, including myself, you should ask these people not just how long have they been practicing, but what kind of training they've had, because they all should have had some sort of training. You may even want to ask who they've trained with, but at least determine whether they've trained. An important question to ask also is, are you still engaging in ongoing training and mentorship? Because as intuitive practitioners, it's really important that we never stop practicing and we never stop learning and growing. So like I shared with you, I trained with a woman named Tina Zion. I believe her to be the best medical intuitive teacher and guide in the world. I'm biased, of course, but I would literally trust her with my life, my heart, and my soul. And I have. She has, as she's trained me, helped me identify issues in myself that had I not been able to identify with her help, I would not have, she literally helped me save my own life. So I just want to share these pieces of knowledge with you. I hope they empower you. So I would ask people, who have you trained with? How long did you train? Are you still doing any type of ongoing training? How do you use your skills? Because like I explained to you, we all use our skills a little differently. And so some practitioners might feel in alignment for you, while others may not necessarily feel in alignment for you. My approach might not be best for you, while there may be somebody else that I could recommend who would be just the right fit for you. And same thing goes with reading, right? Some of us as intuitives have the ability to connect with most people, but each of us cannot connect with any and every human being. So I've worked with other guides that were, when I was on the receiving end, so I was not the practitioner, I was being on the receiving end of the coaching or the guidance. And I've worked with brilliantly talented medical intuitives, and mediums who just simply weren't able to connect with me. It doesn't mean that they're not gifted, legit, genuine, trustworthy. It just means that there's something with your energies that just doesn't really mesh or align well. And then I've gone and worked with someone else who was just easily able to connect with me. I've had that same experience as a practitioner. I will tell you, of all my current clients, there are zero that I have not been, there's nobody I have not been able to connect with, but I wouldn't take somebody on into my practice unless I knew in consultation that we were an ideal fit for one another. So I also want to share this with all of you today because I want you to get a sense of more deeply who I am, how I practice, how I integrate this and incorporate intuitive work and medical intuitive work into my current practice with my clients, so that you can understand that and really let it sink in and think about and consider if that sounds like my approach would be the ideal perfect fit for you. It might be, but it might not be. So I want you to have that opportunity to understand more deeply what it is we all do as intuitives and medical intuitive practitioners. I would also guide you to just really get in touch with your own intuition. Your gut instinct is real, and that is your intuition. So if you come into contact with someone that you've considered working with, you connect with them a bit more deeply, whether it's in person like this, or in DMs, or in emails, or in some sort of communicative exchange, I would encourage you just to touch in with your own heart and your own gut instinct and just get a sense of, how does this feel for me? If a person, even if they're the most honest practitioner in the world, and they might be, just like me, they still might not feel right for you. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you mean. Not every person is fit for each other. And so it's important that you pay attention to your own heart, your gut. How does this feel? Does this person feel good for you? Does this person feel like someone you can trust? Does this person feel like someone that you would like to guide you in some capacity to improve your life, whether it's for your health, your business, or otherwise? So I just really want to give you this information today, and I hope that you will ask these types of questions anytime you come across a practitioner like me or anyone that claims to do any layer or level of intuitive work. Ask them how that works in what they do in their business. What does that mean exactly? How exactly do they use those skills? How will those skills be used in service for you? Because what a practitioner ultimately should do, and I will tell you what my personal why do I do medical intuitive work? Why do I do any type of spiritual, energetic, intuitive work on any level? Because it is my purpose in this lifetime to help others heal and to guide them to heal themselves. Number 2, because my other purpose is to serve spirit and serve the greater good on behalf of those who are in need. And so I would also really recommend that you ask somebody why they do intuitive work and listen deeply to their response. It should not be one that's ego-driven or selfish. It should be one that is genuine and with a true interest of service. And so I hope that these tips will be helpful for you today. So again, finding out how long have they been doing this? How do they do this intuitive work? Why do they do this intuitive work? How does this intuitive work serve you? How is it integrated into the work they do? How exactly do they implement? How long have they been doing this? How skilled are they? How have they been trained? Are they still engaging in ongoing training? So I would strongly recommend that you find yourself an intuitive guide, whether it's for your health, your business, or anything else in the world. Find yourself someone who tells you that not only have they been expertly trained, right? Because someone might tell you they've trained, but I'd encourage you to ask them with who they've trained. Like I shared with you, my medical intuitive teacher. Anyone who's honest and genuine should have no problem sharing this information with you. But it's important to know that they have trained with an expert, somebody who's not a student themselves, somebody who is very well developed and years beyond this practitioner themselves. My medical intuitive practitioner and mentor and teacher, she is advanced beyond me in a way that I'm continuing to work toward each and every single day. She has been practicing for decades and decades and decades. She has written multiple books on how to become a medical intuitive. You can find them on Amazon very easily. She leads workshops every year at an ongoing rate. So she is who I consider the expert. So I would make sure that this person is not just trained and not just engaging in ongoing training and mentorship to develop themselves further, because there's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as getting to a level of medical intuitive or intuitive training or expertise where you can say, okay, I made it, I'm done. Where just like, I got my doctoral degree, okay? And there did come a point when it was done and dusted. I had done all there was to do. I had came, saw, went, conquered, and it was time for me to receive my degree and move on to use those skills. However, when it comes to intuitive training, we're all intuitive, so that's why I encourage you to trust your own heart and your gut when you communicate with someone, because it won't lie to you. Your heart and your intuition will never ever lie to you, will never lead you in the wrong direction. But oftentimes we don't tap in with it because, especially if we're dealing with health issues like my clients are, all that stuff can get in the way and we can be just distracted by any pain, discomfort, or otherwise that we may be experiencing physically, mentally, or emotionally. So I hope that this information empowers you today. I hope that it helps you get to know me a little more deeply and connect with my energy, understand more about what I do, what I'm all about, how I help others, and what I believe in. And I hope that you've now been armed with some tips and strategies as you head out into the world so that you can protect yourself and make sure that everybody you hire, everybody you work with, everybody you decide to bring into your life is true, and genuine and really going to help and serve you. Because those intuitive practitioners out there who are frauds, who are not trustworthy, are very good at being manipulative and are very good at giving you information that will make you believe that they are legit in some way. So I want you to just watch out for those things. Know if you ever have questions about whether somebody's legit or not, or how to find somebody like that you can trust, you're always welcome to reach out and talk to me. But it's very important to me that you know that I always come from a place of sincerity, genuineness, and authenticity, and I am devoted to the work I do to all of you with all my heart and soul. And so it is always going to be with the most genuine of intentions that I come here to talk with you about any topic. So with that being said, I just want to send you all so much love, so much healing energy, and so much supportive energy. I trust the work I do. Those of us who are genuine practitioners will always tell you that we trust our guides and the information we are given in an unshakable, unbreakable way. So I'm being very guided to say to you all that I hope this information serves you well. And if you've been on the fence, considering coming and working with me, I hope that this has cleared some things up for you, help it to deepen your trust and faith in me. I know that there are so many of us out there who have been damaged, traumatized by the traditional healthcare realm, by mainstream doctors, myself one of those included, even though I come from the mainstream world as a doctor and epidemiologist. So I want you to know I have all the love and patience in the world. And I understand if you come to me with skeptical eyes. I would encourage you to be skeptical as you head out into the world, as you look for the right practitioner to guide you to heal yourself. Not all of us are genuine. I certainly am. But I want to help you identify and discern just who is and is not real in your life. So I hope that this serves you well today on your journey, and I trust that the energy I'm very intentionally sending out right now, whether you watch this now or in the future, is going to serve you in some way, shape, or form today. I hope you have an amazing day.